Hey guys, finally he sleeps back again with another episode of This Week in Raid Shadow Legends. We've got a little bit to talk about here. We're in the middle of the fusion, so let's jump right into it. All right, so the first thing to talk about is the calendar was released. We are in the middle of the fusion. This is pretty much straightforward. This is a fragment fusion, and there are 110 fragments up for grabs, which means you have 10 extra that you don't have to grab. Usually those extra 10 get lost somewhere either between dungeon divers or one of the either champion chase or summon rush for most people. If you're lucky enough to win some of the tournament points that are available, because there's a decent amount of tournament points in here. Let's see, how many tournament points do we have? Let's turn it on. We have 20 points for leaderboard tournaments. So you only need 100 fragments. There's 130 available, which is a decent amount to get there. But we're going to worry most about the 110 that are up. And all of this comes down to just paying attention and doubling up everywhere you possibly can. So when this whole thing started, champion training was out with the dragon. The key was to wait until dungeon divers was open so that you could double up on dragon and campaign runs with champion training to complete dungeon divers. And that's kind of how this thing works throughout the whole course of the fusion. So now we have Ice Golem that is on top of the dungeon divers. Those two are available. The ones you have to worry about the most are Summon Rush and Champion Chase. And we are doing this in the way that Summon Rush comes first, which is great. That way you have to use your shards in Summon Rush. So you take and maximize your points in Summon Rush for the 15 points using your shards, because at the very end, when it comes back, the Champion Chase, you can earn your champions anyway. It doesn't have to just come from shards. So if you have any old fusions that you want to claim, anything like that will give you points towards champion chase. If you claim champions from crystals, if they have some kind of an event, the remnant summons, or you're doing the old fusions, if you've got some of the campaign fusions that are sitting in the vault to come back, you can earn your points to be able to complete out champion chase at the end of the event on that side pretty simply. The only thing that really I see coming into this that could possibly give people some struggle is Dungeon Divers 3, because you only have Fire Knight overlapping unless you wait till the very, very end and try to grab Spider. That Dungeon Divers 3 is going to be tough because you're going to have to do a lot of farming besides the other events to be able to complete it. Dungeon Divers 2 has Spider. In the beginning, you'll have Ice Golem if you still have stuff to do for Ice Golem, so that will be a little bit easier. But if you want my advice, if you save your shards and you set up your campaign farming specifically so that you have the fusion champs to do the epics necessary for the champion chase through fusions, then the couple that you're probably going to want to skip, if you want to skip any, will be the Dungeon Divers 2 and Dungeon Divers 3. Everything else should be simple enough to be able to finish. It's just those two. And it didn't used to be that way, but anymore it seems that the Dungeon Divers are so much more difficult than they used to be. I'm not sure why. It's the amount of energy that's necessary to do that has been it's been a lot. But if you're going for the 110 or any extra fragments, again, we always have that mod thing sitting there. Any extra fragments will help you out towards mod. And at this point, I think I'll be able to claim mod in the game possibly by 2045. I feel like is sad as that is, that's how far off that mod fusion is. Where am I at? Where is There she is. 32. 32 fragments towards, yeah, 2030 at best. And that's no lie, because this shit takes forever. Unless you're not claiming stuff and you're actually using your shards specifically towards mod rather than claiming the fusions. I just don't see that being a champion that anyone's easily going to be able to access. But these are the ones I'm talking about. If you can come in here and fuse for your Relic Keeper by using these 4 champs down here, Spirit Host, and you're grabbing these 4 from campaign and just fusing Justicars to be able to go towards Relic Keeper. And if you've got enough of Justicars and you're going that second route to claim up here towards Relic Keeper, that helps as well. But it's more champion training involved in taking these. This is the easiest way to do it, are those 4 down here at the bottom, those 4. And now you can see I have a lot of each just sitting in the vaults. That's what they're for. So when you train those to 30, it takes those 4 to be able to claim Justicar at 250 points apiece for it being an epic. If you are completely out of shards and are able to farm campaign in the areas that give out these champions and you can hold on to them, you can easily have 4 of each setting aside when Champion Chase comes in, and then that's 4 Justicars is 1,000 points towards Champion Chase, which makes a big difference. That if you are free to play and you're in a mid stage of the game, 4 of those at 1,000 points is the equivalent of a couple of, actually that's 4 sacreds if you don't pull a legendary, because you're earning based on, in Champion Chase, it's not what kind of shards you're using, it's what you're earning, and you're getting much more points. That 250 points for an epic means those 4 are the equivalent of most sacred shards turned in. That's a big deal. Plus, if you're smart enough to be holding on to 1,000 or more of those mystery shards, they're worth basically a point apiece. 10 points if you're lucky enough to pull a rare champion. You can get right there, it'd be 1,800 points for Champion Chase or Summon Rush. So there's a reason to hoard those mystery shards to be able to make things a little bit easier, especially when you're running low on resources, because we're coming off of something like Chaos Awakes, which is the next thing to talk about, because Chaos Awakes is ending soon, which means that Event Dungeon is disappearing in like 4 or 5 days. And if you haven't picked up as much pinpoint accessories as you can, that is an excellent excuse to use Event Dungeon for your dungeon diving events and any chance that you have to be able to use it just to claim whatever pinpoint gear you can. I think a lot of people ended up with a lot of 5-star pinpoint gear from the last couple of event dungeons, and now we're starting to move into a point where we can kind of dump out that 5-star gear and start to replace it with 6-star pinpoint gear. So don't miss your last 5 days to be able to claim as much as you possibly can out of the event dungeon. That's pretty much it we've got for this week in Raid. This is coming to you a day early this week. I'm on vacation next week, so there probably won't be any videos, but I'll be returning soon after that. Appreciate you guys hanging out. I'm Finally He Sleeps. As long as you guys keep showing up, I'll keep making videos.